Hey everybody, this is Ted Check, recovering reporter. So I was hunting around on LinkedIn and stumbled across this from Imad Hanifer. Breaking: CBS is considering settling the $10 billion lawsuit by President Trump for election interference. If you remember, back when Kamala was running for president, she was on 60 Minutes, and they spliced in a an answer. So she had one answer to a question, and it was word salad. It was all it was all jumbled, right? And then she had another answer. It was one way was I found it. I actually did a video on this. I found the original and then the doctored version. But yeah, clearly I don't know whose request it was, whether it was from Camp Kamala or whether it was CBS who decided to do it, but they took out her word salad answer and they recorded another answer and they spliced that answer in to the question because the question was the same. Everything was the same. It's just her answer was different. So then apparently Donald Trump filed a lawsuit, a $10 billion lawsuit for election interference in doing that. I mean, if you're the media, you have to portray things as they happen. You can't recreate something. That's not journalism. That's not news. That's not, it's not any of that. Okay? It's not the way that things, yeah, it's just not how it should happen. Okay? And so there are penalties for things like that. So here we are at The Verge. CBS considers caving on Trump's censorship lawsuit. I was going to say censorship lawsuit to save Paramount merger. So there's a lot of work here. So, this law professor says it's frivolous. Well, the Wall Street Journal reports that executives at CBS parent company Paramount Global have discussed settling the suit while, quote, gaming out options to reduce friction with the incoming administration. Yeah, it would behoove them if they could, settle all this stuff early on in the Trump administration, so that there's no friction between them. Just iron this stuff out as quickly as you can ahead of a government review of its merger with Skydance. So Paramount Global wants to merge with Skydance, okay, and they need the government to agree to it. And they're afraid that it's not going to go through if they don't settle the lawsuit that Donald Trump had filed about them interfering in the election. The paper reports that incoming FCC chairman and censor-in-chief, I don't know about that, Brendan Carr, warned execs last year that presidential dissatisfaction with CBS News will make a review tougher. Funny how that works. I don't know if that's exactly. Can you do that? Can you say that? It's going to be tougher. It's going to be tougher. Or do you take each thing individually? Is it okay to do that, or is that government stepping a bit too far? I don't know. Just raising the question. But I'm pretty confident that news distortion complaint over the CBS 60 Minutes transcript is something that is likely to arise in the context of the FCC's review of that transaction. Okay, so the way he's putting it there, it's a legitimate concern. Hey, look, they allegedly committed this election interference. How can we overlook that? That's a negative mark on them, and might it might reflects negatively upon them as they're looking to make this huge merger. So when you look at it that way, you're like, oh, okay, all right, it's not mutually exclusive. What it does is it affects their character, the nature of the business. If they're willing to indulge in such skullduggery, what's to prevent them from doing other things once this merger takes place that are potentially untoward? The lawsuit claims that in airing two differently edited versions of Harris's response to a question about the war in Gaza, quote, CBS used its national platform on 60 Minutes to cross the line from the exercise of judgment in reporting to deceitful, deceptive manipulation of news. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. I 100% agree with that. But instead of mounting a defense of free speech against a lawsuit and Trump's accusations that the network said were false and completely without merit, Paramount is considering following the example of Disney and tech oligarchs who will line up at the inauguration like Mark Zuckerberg. So, yeah. The ABC News owner, that would be Disney. They're referring to Disney here, not Zuckerberg. See, you gotta be careful. The ABC News owner agreed to pay $15 million to Trump's presidential foundation and museum to settle a defamation lawsuit in December. Zuckerberg sharply redirected Meta's policies to the right while meeting with Trump. So there needs to be some type of conciliatory movement on Paramount's part toward Trump, whatever that may be. Maybe it's another donation or whatever, because he brought the lawsuit. It's not as though they're paying him off, but I mean, I guess you could. I don't know. I mean, the bottom line is, it's very serious. What CBS did is very serious, and so, there needs to be some type of penalty for that. They need to know, hey, that's wrong. You knew it was wrong. They don't need to be told it was wrong. They knew it was wrong. They need to know that people are watching them, and that type of behavior is not going to be tolerated. Maybe if Biden got in or Harris got into office, it would be tolerated. It would be celebrated, but it's not, and it won't. So very interesting stuff here. We'll just have to see what what form it takes. What way will they kiss the ring? What way will they bend the knee to make this lawsuit? And it's a huge one, $10 billion, a $10 billion lawsuit. That is, that's pretty sizable. But then again, the offense that was committed was very egregious. And what they did there, and inexcusable, because they know better. That's it. They know better. They knew they shouldn't have done that, and they did it anyway. Look what you done did. There you go. So let me know your thoughts, and I'll talk to you later.